salty dog. Candy man, salty dog. Candy man, salty dog. Well, if you won't be my candy man, I won't be your salty dog.
Welcome to this episode of Junk Food on the Road. This month, we're talking about
turkey. Not the stuff.
Not the bird.
Not the bird with the drumsticks, but the country.
The country.
The country. Where is it?
Of delight.
Of delight. Near Greece in the Mediterranean.
Near Greece, near Syria on the other side.
I believe the only country to straddle two continents.
I believe Russia is also one of those.
Okay, the only one to straddle. No, not Asia and.
Nope, because that's Russia too.
Russia too. I'm not really sure. There's something special about it that way.
Well, Turkey is special.
Turkey is very special.
Well, you can cross from, like, there's some debate over where the continental divide is in Russia, but in Turkey it's the
Bosphorus.
The Bosphorus.
Yes, and
yeah.
so
you can walk across the bridge.
Istanbul might be the only city that's divided.
Maybe.
Between two continents.
I don't know.
Okay. But this to say that
Istanbul was Constantinople.
Now it's Istanbul.
Not Constantinople.
It's been a long time gone, Constantinople.
Why did Constantinople get the works?
It's nobody's business but the Turks.
All right.
I think we might have to pay royalties.
Uh-oh. No, but we don't make any money on this.
Okay, fair enough. But
nobody even listens to it.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 people I think that listen to this.
Thank you, Mom.
My mom does not listen to this.
I don't think my mom even knows it exists.
I don't think your mom knows what a podcast is.
No, probably not.
So, okay, back to Turkey. The reason why I mentioned the sort of European / Asian divide is because it kind of affects their food a little bit. Like, it's got a very unique food culture.
It's a very good food culture, too. It's very Mediterranean.
It's very Mediterranean, but it's not completely Greek Mediterranean like you would find sort of in Spain, Greece, southern France, and things like that.
And it's not completely Middle Eastern like you find in Syria and Lebanon. And
exactly. It's kind of got this cool mix.
Yeah.
That makes it kind of cool.
Although there's a definite continuum. Like you can find baklava in Lebanon and in Greece.
Yes. Yeah, that's definitely one of the in Turkey.
And it's done differently in each of those places. And oh my God, if any of our Greek friends hear this, they're going to just be so tearing out their hair, but I kind of prefer the Turkish baklava to the Greek.
Why is that?
It's drier. I find that the Greek stuff drips a little too much in honey.
I like the drip. I like to be able to drink your baklava.
See, I like the drier baklava.
So
I like more nuts. Sort of like the peanut butter and chocolate debate. You like more chocolate than peanut butter, and I like more peanut butter than chocolate.
It's true. But if you like things on the less sweet side, Turkey tends to be. And that's actually something interesting when you talk about their sort of national candy, which is Turkish delight. Mm-hmm. Or lokum is sort of the general term in the Mediterranean for that. Mm-hmm. You can find it everywhere, but Turkish delight is sort of, obviously which one.
It's what we know it in North America.
Yeah, it's what we know in North America. So, when you go to Greece, you'll find, they either call it Greek delight. In Cyprus, they call it Cypriot delight. And in Turkey, they call it Turkish delight. And the general term is lokum. Lokum. And so it's a jelly thing. Istanbul, we've only been to a couple places in Turkey, so we can't really say this, but Istanbul's selection of Turkish delight is mind-blowingly fantastic.
The airport alone.
The airport alone is great because you get free samples of Turkish delight.
Oh my God, all the Turkish delight. You can make a meal of Turkish delight.
Yes.
I don't recommend it for nutritional value, but it's super yummy.
It's good. Not as good as the stuff I found in the city. The stuff in the city is better quality for sure.
Yeah.
I had one of the greatest Turkish delights I ever had. I can remember it was rose, but it wasn't just rose flavored. There was pistachio in it, but then on the outside there was a coating of rose petals and leaves.
Was I there?
Yeah, we got that while we were in Turkey.
I totally don't remember that.
Yeah, so it was actually had and it had leaves, like rose leaves in it. And you ate them, and it was unbelievable. One of the things I sort of fell in love with in the Mediterranean is rose water. It's an amazing flavoring thing. Just a little bit, the flavor of rose in things. It's perfumey-ish, but not like Thrill's gum perfumey. It doesn't sort of make you feel like you're eating soap.
He doesn't go anywhere now without his spray bottle of rose water.
Anywhere we move, I have a spray bottle of rose water because put that on some cookies, fantastic. But the thing that this Turkish delight it had like rose petals and rose stems, so it was actually this really natural flavored of rose.
Where was that?
That was in Istanbul.
I know it was but where in Istanbul?
There was one of the Turkish delight shops that was near Topkapi Palace. We went there and we kind of got this little log of Turkish delight.
Right. I remember the one where they had like the Turkish delight shawarma style.
Yeah, that's another thing they have. Is like they have like this like Turkish delight in various and the halva in like
halva.
In whatchamacallit, in the spin and the spinning meat.
The shawarma, like gyros.
The gyros type thing.
Gyros shawarma. Again, the Mediterranean spectrum.
Yeah, so it's like the spinning meats, but it's like candy. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But that isn't where I got it. This was an actual just regular log of it.
Yeah, but it was in one of those shops that had the shawarma style.
Yeah.
Lokum.
Yeah, and the thing about the shops in Istanbul in particular is they're old. The first time I went to Istanbul, when I didn't go with you when I was a kid, I went into a shop that was around when Jesus was alive and making candy.
Jesus was alive and making candy?
Well, that's amazing.
I thought he was a carpenter's son.
Yep. No, but so like you're talking shops that have been around for like thousands of years. Yeah. Like 100-year-old shop in Istanbul, candy shop in Istanbul. Those are the new boys. You know.
You want to know one of my? This is funny. This is going to contradict what I said about the baklava. But speaking about the shops, there's the Grand Bazaar, which is kind of like just a shopping mall, but old and interesting.
Yeah.
But it's indoors.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that. But then there's the Egyptian market, which is down closer to the river, and we had this pastry that we bought on the street there that was crispy when you bit into it, but it was so moist that it was almost like your mouth filled with liquid when you started chewing it.
Got it in a cart or something, didn't we?
It was from this like random cart on the side of the street after we'd been looking at, pomegranate de-seeding contraptions. Stuff. The Egyptian market's awesome. And we saw these things on a cart and they looked like little sort of like super sweet pretzel-y type things, but obviously some sort of dough-based thing, not like very sweet. But it was, but again, it had that sort of rush of moistness that you would associate with sweet, and it was a very sweet treat, but it was not sickeningly sweet. It was really good because it was like crispy and moist at the same time.
It's crazy.
I forget what it was called.
We probably wouldn't be able to read it anyway.
I think we paid like 40 cents for it or something.
Yeah. Again, we're talking mostly about Istanbul. The food selection is amazing. There's so much on the streets.
Yeah. And like the shops, the spices and the nuts and the dried leaves and
certain types of tea that we like.
Yeah, that's we got it mostly at the airport, which they don't have at the airport anymore. Last time we went, but olive leaf tea.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah, it's really good. It's one of one of our favorite teas.
I think we have one box left.
Yeah, we should probably drink it soon.
We did find some in the city itself, though.
Yeah, you find like bags of it in some of the shops.
Well, we found actually just like sticks of dried olive leaves that you could buy. But we found a box of olive leaf tea that was in tea bags on the other side of not the Bosphorus, but still, what's the other river there?
Yeah, I know the
Euphrates. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know what the river is. That's terrible.
That's okay. We haven't been
Geography
there.
lesson.
Yeah, there we go. I'll cut it in.
Thanks.
On the other side of the. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's where it was.
That's where it was.
It was down from.
There's the bridge where all the people were fishing.
Okay. I was going to say it was down from where, I want to say Tahrir Square.
Yeah.
Down the hill.
Yeah.
With like that tram.
Yeah. Speaking of tea.
Killer tram.
Speaking of tea, let us discuss. There's two types of tea you can get in Turkey. You can get a cup of tea or you can get a glass of tea.
And they're different prices.
And can you tell me the difference between a glass of tea and a cup of tea?
Well, let me tell you. The glass of tea comes in a glass, and the cup of tea comes in a cup.
But the cup of tea is generally more expensive.
I can't remember which one was more expensive, but I asked if one had more in it than the other, and they said, no, it's the same amount. And so I got whichever one was cheaper. Which I think you're right. I think it was the glass was cheaper.
Yeah, the glasses of tea tend to be cheaper than cups.
It was also more of an experience drinking a glass of tea.
Yeah.
Hot tea.
Although the glasses get very hot, but some of them have like special things that have like double glass or things to insulate.
Mine burned.
And I've seen a couple that have like little metal things that sort of do like.
Yeah, I think I have one of those.
So yeah, that's it. There we go. There's a little experience. If you see the sort of glasses and cups.
Yeah, it's on a menu. Glass of tea.
I mean, maybe some places
40
it's
lira,
different.
Cup of tea, 50 lira, and it's like, what's the difference? Well, the glass of tea's in a glass.
So, I mean, that could have just been the place we went to.
Maybe.
But maybe not.
And most of the tea shops seem to just be in the lobbies of hotels.
Yeah, there doesn't. I mean, I think there's
no
tea. I think there's tea
Starbucks
vendors.
there. Oh yeah.
I remember seeing people sort of like with
samovars and stuff.
And yeah, with like little big tea things, and you could get like a cup and they just drink it on the street and stuff like that. And they were selling to shopkeepers. But generally for like tourists, if you want to like sit and have a cup of tea, bakeries in hotels tended to be the places I noticed the most.
Yeah. And what was that drink you had?
Oh yeah, I had this. It was like a sweet milk.
Yeah, with like spices.
Yeah, it was like cardamom. And it was like a carnation milk with cardamom or something like that, and that was so good. That was unbelievable. It was like, I mean, you have to like sweet and milk to like it, but it was nice. It was really nice. That was another flavor that's very sort of Turkish. I mean, it's very Mediterranean, but it's just, I think it seems to me that represents Turkey a little bit more than the Mediterranean or Middle East.
Yeah.
You know?
And Turkish coffee is called Cypriot coffee in Cyprus, and Greek coffee in Greece, and Egyptian coffee in Egypt.
Yeah.
And so
I'm not sure who invented a lot of these things, like Turkish delight, like lokum, like baklava or anything. But Turkey has done a very, very good job in marketing it as their own.
Yeah. Even yogurt. Yogurt is a Turkish word.
Yeah. Well, but like yogurt is. You think of yogurt, you can think of other countries like Greece and everything, but Turkish coffee.
Turkish delight.
Nobody thinks of Greek coffee as much as Turkish coffee or Turkish delight, when really those are very Mediterranean things.
Yeah, they're very pan-Mediterranean.
Yeah. So where they came from, who knows? I mean, maybe they did come through Turkey, but you know, a lot of history about sort of things like dairy, sugar, and a lot of the things we use notionally came through Turkey. Like a lot of the history books say that the entrance into Europe was through Turkey. So back in the olden days, there wasn't as much crossing the Mediterranean, was a bit more of a chore. So bringing stuff across land was a little easier. And so that's why a lot of stuff I think is said to have come through Turkey, as opposed to sort of just crossing the Mediterranean from other places like.
The History of Chocolate by Chris Stewart. Coming to bookstores someday.
Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, there you go. So. But that's I'm trying to think. The food in Turkey was pretty good.
It was good, yeah.
I mean, you can go
with shawarmas and.
I went to that shawarma place. There's a lot of little shawarma places where you sit on plastic chairs, either outside or in like a little alcove and munch away, and it's pretty good.
It's pretty yummy. Lots and lots of nutty snacks, like lukum made with nuts in it.
Yeah.
Or like some kind of brittle or some kind of. Like something coated nuts or
halvas with nuts.
With nuts.
Yeah, it's definitely a very nut, spice and nut. And the spice not necessarily spicy, but spices and so lots of nuts.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, what else did we find in Turkey that was?
It's hard to just find anything as junk food there.
But even
your typical junk food, like the sugary sweets. You've got your baklava. You've got the thing we bought off the cart. You've got your lukum.
Fast food, there's a lot of street food.
A lot of street food.
And good stuff. I don't think we ate in that many restaurants. Like, that's the thing about Turkey is there is restaurants there, but because there's so much good street food and stuff like that, you tend to find you're kind of wandering around eating that. You don't tend to stop too often to, go to a restaurant.
Fruit too, like lots of nice fruits and.
Yeah, it's just
fresh stuff.
Candy, as far as like candy at like the store, not great. Not a great selection.
Sort of like a modified selection of what you find elsewhere in Europe.
Yeah, and even in low quality, like even like a lot of really sort of sort of crappy stuff. So, but and the thing too is like
Because if you're in Turkey, why do you need mass-produced candy when you've got all that yummy stuff?
Exactly. That's the thing. It's very handmade. I think that's a good way to represent it, because even fast food wise, you're more likely to go to a guy who's just making a shawarma on the side of the street than you are to go to a McDonald's. And same with the sweet stuff. So it's almost as if this is like hardcore fast food and stuff like that, because it's handmade. It's very sort of rustic and everything like that, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And different. You're going to find flavors that you don't find anywhere else.
And sweet, spicy milk.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember what that was called.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
In our defense, we haven't been in since 2014.
Yeah.
That was the last time we went.
Before we went to Pakistan, we went.
Yeah, I was on the way to Pakistan.
Yeah.
So it's been 4 years since we went, and we were there for 2 days.
Yeah, and we went there before.
We went there a year before for
a day.
A day.
And then I went there for a day.
When you were 11.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So this is hard.
It's hard, but I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think
the cisterns, nice.
Lots of stuff to see.
And
lots of food around where you need to see stuff.
Yeah.
I guess the cool thing is you can go to a site and then walk up.
It's not challenging feeding yourself in Istanbul.
No, not at all. Not even in the slightest. And lots to bring home.
Yeah. But I think my favorite part of Istanbul was the cisterns.
Yeah. It was nice.
There's no food in the cisterns, but I couldn't talk about Istanbul without mentioning it, because the Blue Mosque gets all the
hype.
The hype, but the cisterns are amazing, and not far from the Blue Mosque.
Yeah, kind of hidden though.
Seriously, 100 meters away.
But kind of hidden.
Kind of hidden, hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think that's good.
I got to give the cisterns some props.
Cisterns.
They're doing it for themselves.
There you go.
No, I'm doing it for them.
There you go.
Yeah.
So.
For the 3 people that are listening, whoever they are.
Who probably have already been.
And they've probably stopped listening by now.
So, okay. Well, thanks for listening to another episode of Junk Food on the Road. This time we talked about
turkey.
As always, you can follow us on Twitter @CandyCritic, or you can go to candycritic.org and follow all of our other social media. And you can go to candycritic.org/junkfood and find old episodes of this as well as our podcast. And we're now on Patreon too. So if you want to help support us and give us, help us out, that would be awesome. You can go to our Patreon page. It's Candy Critic on Patreon, or you'll find links to it all over the place because we're posting them all over our websites. Or send us a message and I'll let you know where it is, because it'd be awesome if you could help us out. Any little bit helps.
And we'll find out if anybody's actually listening.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, if you do sign up for listening to this, just say I found you on Junk Food when you sign up, just because that would be kind of neat to.
You're going to see us fall on the floor in shock.
Yes. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Candy man, salty dog. Candy man, salty dog. Candy man, salty dog. Well, if you won't be my candy man, I won't be your salty dog. Little red light, little green light, little red light, little green light, little red light, little green light. The way you stop on the red and go on the green, don't you mess with Mr. In Between. Run and get the bucket, get your baby some beer. Run and get the bucket, get your baby some beer. Run and get the bucket, get your baby some beer. Run and get the bucket, get your baby some beer. Run and get the bucket, get your baby some beer. Well, I'd do anything in this God Almighty world, keep my candy man here. Gingerbread man, Santa Claus. Gingerbread man, Santa Claus. Gingerbread man, Santa Claus. Well, gingerbread man with razors for his eyes, I'm gonna eat him just quick as I can. Candy man, been here and gone. Candy man, been here and gone. Candy man, been here and gone. I'd do anything in this God Almighty world that would keep my candy man home. Hey, hey.